When did you decide that policing, becoming an officer, was the career path for you?
Many years ago, when I was a young child, I had thought of becoming either a police officer or a firefighter. And I served as a call fireman in Wareham when I was in high school and stayed for several years beyond that. And I became a summer special police officer at age 20 in Wareham.
So you started as a seasonal police officer, then you worked your way up the ranks, right?
I did. I became a full-time officer in 1989. And I also worked, while I was in college, I worked for Rochester Police as well. I worked in Wareham and Rochester. And then in 1989, I got on full-time here in Wareham and was a patrolman until 2003 when I made sergeant. And then in 2010, I made lieutenant. And then in May of 2018, I made acting chief.
Now, some of the challenges that the department is facing is spacing.
Spacing is a huge problem. The station is in dire need of replacement, and we have, in fact, and twice within the last several months, I've had folks come into the station on wheelchairs that could not get into the records room. They literally couldn't get in, and that's very upsetting to me. The places that we hold the detainees or the prisoners is just, it's very old-fashioned. And even more than the station, we need more officers. We haven't kept pace with the growth of the town. And we're a very busy police department, as you know. We're very busy. And we put more calls in pending than I'd like, but we do the best we can.
So tell me, why so? Why is it hard to fill those positions?
Well, the first part is finances, that the town doesn't have the money to sustain, long-term police goals with personnel. And we're part of the civil service system, and the civil service system is a little cumbersome hiring people and promoting people.
Now, another challenge is we do offer competitive pay, but not competitive enough in comparison to our neighboring towns.
Some of our neighboring towns pay better wages to their police officers, but we're very busy here, and the officers they get a lot of experience, and which is nice, and they have a lot of experiences that they can bring to the table. And an officer with 5 years experience in Wareham he's battle tested, I guess.
Battle tested. But you do not want this place to be just training ground.
Oh, 100% no. And we have 2 officers in the academy right now, and or student officers. So we hope to have them on board in several months, and then they have to go through a field training program.
Tell us about the safety complex proposal.
Well, we're looking at combining a facility with the emergency medical services and the harbor masters or the Department of Natural Resources, and we would like to see that happen. So we have a police station building committee, and we're working on to that end. So it's a matter of determining where we would go and the money and how we would pay for it and things like that. But I think a combined facility is a great idea.
Do you have a preference to where you would like to relocate?
No, just as long as it's a new facility. I mean, there are some in my own mind that I think might be better suited, but I certainly wouldn't mind being a little more centrally located, that maybe between Wareham and Onset, a little bit between both. But I'll be happy with what I get.
So for the past 30-something years you've been with this department, tell me how you've seen this community change over time.
I've seen it change in some things better and some things not as good. And I would say that when I first started, overdoses were very rare. And now, unfortunately, we've had over 30 since the January 1, and now we're in March. And that's sad, and that's a bad thing. The community, though, it's a great community. I would say the strongest thing that Wareham has going for us is people. We have really great people in town. It's a diverse community. People get along very well. I feel like people are accepting of one another and people's differences, and I think that's a real plus for Wareham.
Now, with the addiction crisis, not just here in Wareham, but surrounding this region, as a police officer, a seasoned one, How do you feel the community should go about this issue?
Well, it's not just our problem, and I've heard other police administrators saying that, you know, we really need to stay in our lane, you know, in terms of our partaking of the problem, if you will, or our piece of the puzzle. But we are with this Plymouth County outreach, and all the police departments in Plymouth County are in it. And what we do is we actively will participate in getting people help if they need it, you know, or if they want it. So a police officer and an addiction counselor will go back to a person that had an overdose the next day, visit them, give them literature and pamphlets, and hopefully they take it and do something with it. I think that myself, it's important to educate young people into the, you know, dangers of narcotics and things like that.
Now, how has the legalization of marijuana, recreational marijuana, maybe changed or made things a little bit difficult?
I'm 1,000%, I'd make that 10,000% against the legalization of marijuana. And I don't like it, and I think that, in my opinion, I think it minimizes the dangers of narcotics. But you know, then again, alcohol is a problem. Alcohol is a huge problem. Where it was very common when I started as a police officer to arrest somebody for possession of marijuana, we don't do that anymore. And we adapt and change with the law, and we follow the law. And while I don't agree with some things, I have to abide by the law, and I will continue to do that.
Tell us about your goals, your visions, now as the chief.
My goal and vision is that I want the department to grow. I want the department to grow so we can adequately serve the town, I think, better than we do now. And I would like everybody to have peace of mind in Wareham. Well, we can't rid ourselves of crime. We just can't. That's not realistic. What is realistic is I don't want people to have a fear of crime. And I want people, especially underserved people, to understand that we're here for them and we're here to protect them, especially children and the elderly. I want those people to know that we're here to protect them and make them feel safe.
Yeah, so with that, tell us how the police department is working, or how it fits in the new slogan, town's new slogan, that is, it's better before the bridges.
I think, you know, Wareham is a great town, and I've always felt, I went to school here, I graduated from high school here, and Wareham is a great town, and I always said Wareham should be a destination and not just a stopping point before the Cape. Although I kind of like our Gateway to Cape Cod slogan because I'm so used to it. And, but I will say this, that when you walk around the beaches in Wareham, the woods in Wareham, it's a beautiful place. It really is, and I always said we really need to capitalize on that, and I just want the police department to be part of that vision going forward. I think it's a good move and a bold move by the town to say, hey, look, you know, Wareham's here, and it is. It's an amazing community.
Now, you interimed for 2 years as an
Almost 2 years, yeah.
Almost 2 years, yes, as an acting chief. Why did the process take so long?
It was more or less we have to abide by the civil service rules, so we had to take a civil service exam, and so we did that, and it seems to take a while, and you know, so it went on a little bit, but you know, here we are. And there was, you know, rest assured, no matter what the title was, we had leadership of the police department that was taking care of what we needed to take care of.
Well, you have received many compliments from the town. Before Wareham Week muted the comments, people really praise you. They write editorial letters thanking you. You seem like a very approachable chief. And so with that said, what do you think is a role of a police officer in this day and age? What should they be?
The role of a police officer really is, I see it as every single day a police officer can do good for the community. And I just don't want the police department to be, we're not a closed society, we're part of the town. And I want the town to know that. And I want the officers to feel that, you know, we're a team, but we're part of a bigger team with the whole town and the people. And while I appreciate everybody's comments, I do, thank you for that. It's really the officers and the communications people that are really they're getting the job done every day, and they really are. I mean, at 3:30 in the morning on, you know, a Thursday morning in November, when you call 911, there's people there that are professionals ready to answer your call and help you. And I like that. We have great people, and they're the real strength of the Wareham Police Department.
You're very humble. Have you?
No.
You're extremely humble.
No. I mean, it's the truth. You know, I go home every day, and I think about the officers out there. I think about the people working in our station, because they do a good job. They have a dangerous job, to be sure, but they do a great job. And we have professionals, whether they're working in the schools, you know, our SRO, and the officers handling calls, and the people answering the calls. We really are lucky with that, and they make the difference. I really believe that they make the difference, and I really admire the service they perform. I really do.
How does it feel being the chief?
Oh, it's exciting.
Has it synced in yet?
Oh yeah, you know, and it's just I just want it to be business as usual. You know, I wanted to get the job done and be there for the town, and I really like the job I do. I like being able to help people, and I feel like maybe we can make some positive change for the town, for the police department going forward. And I'm completely honored to have the job. I've always been honored to be a police officer. I feel that way. I feel it's an honorable profession, and I'm proud to do it.
Well, thank you. Is there something you'd like to add that I didn't ask?
No, thank you very much, and thank you for being so accessible to us. I think this provides a nice service to the public, and I thank you for that. And I appreciate the offer to come in and talk.